the clock to find those who are still unaccounted for. Thousands more are now starting over, just trying to get the basics like food, water, clothing, any necessity they can get their hands on. Thanks for sticking with us here at 6. I'm Colin Mayfield. So as these essentials pour in to the high country, other areas in the Carolinas now starting to feel the impacts of this. We'll have more on that rush in just a moment. However, it's important to remember every bit counts in this, and you can help the storm victims right now if you'd like. The overwhelming amount of support is already arriving in droves. Taking a look right now at the items collected today for Operation Airdrop. Our crews have been out in Concord throughout the day as trucks full of supplies pulled in and out. We'll check in with Brad in just a few moments on how that went. But first, our team coverage live continues stretching all across our area, every corner of it, from up near the Virginia state line all the way down to Rutherford County. Our team is where you are and where the necessities are needed. Let's start with my co-anchor Vanessa Rufus live in Hickory, where over the past couple of days, that has been one of the critical spots for Operation Airdrop. Obviously, we just saw the president talking about the support that will be sent in from Fort Liberty. Vanessa?
Yeah, that's right, Colin. We'll get to that in just a moment. Just to give you a quick idea, though, of where we stand with operations at Hickory Regional Airport, you'll probably notice we are starting to get a lot of the choppers coming back in. I might have mentioned this yesterday, but having been here the past couple of days, we've noticed a pattern, basically hours and hours of flight activity. And then as we get closer to sundown, a lot of these chopper pilots will come on back and they will try to get back before sundown. And then, of course, they will rest for several hours, come back early in the morning, and they'll do it all over again. What we're told, since a lot of these are volunteer pilots, not all of them have the certifications to fly at night, and of course it could be much more dangerous. So once again, here at sundown, we start to see a lot of these pilots coming on back. Now, Colin, you just mentioned President Biden touring North Carolina. He just got back from an aerial tour of western North Carolina, and in the past hour spoke from Raleigh about some of the recovery efforts and what the federal government is doing. So take a listen to what he had to say.
Today in North Carolina, I saw the impacts of that fury. Massive trees uprooted, homes literally swept off their foundations, swept down rivers. You know, families are heartbroken. But there are also neighbors helping neighbors. That's the other thing. We were talking about coming over here in an automobile. It's amazing when people step up when people are in need because they're neighbors. I think we underestimate that.
And so we have to point out this is not the only high-profile visit that the area has received. In fact, just this morning, Ivanka Trump was right here at Hickory Regional Airport to drop off some donations. And we actually received a photo from some of the pilots who were there to greet her. We're told that she came with some donations of Starlink communication devices, which we have been talking about have played a key role in reestablishing communications up in some of the remote and cut-off areas in our high country. Speaking of which, Ashe County, we know, is one of those areas that has been particularly hard hit. We've been seeing a lot of really stunning images of swiftwater rescues underway there. We know that lots of folks are still unaccounted for. We know there are power outages and there is lacking water supply. WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker has spent the day there. Austin, what have you seen on the ground?
Yeah, so the damage is pretty much all you can really see right now. You know, the things that we are looking at are just complete devastation. You're seeing homes washed away. You're seeing immense damage on things like businesses. We're currently here in downtown Lansing, where at one point there was about 10 feet of water covering this entire area. To get that in perspective, I'm just over 6 feet tall. So add 4 feet to that. That is what we're talking about. So these businesses are pretty much destroyed. And for one family who their whole dream was to own a business right here, it's now been washed away. The Lansing Trading Company is known for making a mark.
We've got 2 Etsy shops.
Embroidery and screen printing on just about anything.
All of it's pretty dresses.
But Helene left its own mark.
So water line, we measured yesterday, it was 96 inches.
Water pouring in, filling every crevice.
But you know, it's...
For Amy Blevins, it was a dream of expanding out of their home and into a store.
5 embroidery machines, and then Wednesday We signed papers on our first industrial-sized embroidery machines. And they were delivered Thursday.
Now puckered, a dream turns to disaster.
Equipment and inventory were probably about $250,000.
Probably about 30 minutes.
It's more than just a family affair Wednesday.
One of our preacher friends reached out and they brought a huge truckload today.
I mean, we've had people give us wads of money, just give it to us and trying to get us help. And it's just been very humbling.
Working to stitch their lives back together.
You're in God's country, so.
The thread of support weaves throughout Lansing,
Honestly, I've got chill bumps just talking about it.
where someday Blevins will continue to leave her family's mark. Yeah, so the folks here say the support has just been overwhelming. Now, just before the 6 o'clock newscast, we did speak to 2 women, one of them driving from Michigan, showing up to Greensboro, then making the 3-hour drive here to Ashe County. They say right now they appreciate any help they can get. They have a operations center behind me at the volunteer fire department, which right now is barely standing. It had a severe amount of water damage. It is bare inside, but still they're using it to help people. They're asking for food, water, medication, anything that you could need. Specifically, baby formula is also a big thing we are hearing because these residents in the mountain are hurting. For now in Ashe County, Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.